we were lying heavy and heavy.
This band sold 7 million albums, won a Grammy, and became the biggest pop stars on earth. So what's wrong? They didn't sing a single word. While that's sensational, I'm going to show you exactly how two broke dancers pulled off the biggest fraud in music history. How a single computer glitch completely destroyed their lives. And if I were in the music industry, I'll brainwash you into forgetting this ever happened.
Bro, what are you talking about,
You see, it's working.
man?
To understand this madness, we have to travel back to 1988 in Germany. Meet Frank Farian. He's a music producer and honestly a bit of a mad scientist. He just recorded a song called Girl You Know It's True. The vocalists he hired were incredibly talented, but Frank had a problem. Frank looked at his singers and thought, great voices, but they don't look like MTV superstars. Enter Pilatus and Fab Morvan. These guys were living in Munich. They were completely broke, literally stealing food to survive, but they had three things: incredible hair, insane dance moves, and jawlines chiseled by the gods themselves. Frank calls him into his office and says, "Hey, I'll give you thousands of dollars right now if you just put on these outfits, go on stage, and pretend to sing this song." They were broke. For $1,000, I'll sign a contract without thinking as well. Overnight, they became Milli Vanilli. And when I say famous, I mean famous. They didn't even explode, they bombed.
And we want to say I'm from West Germany, and this is a symbol of freedom for East Germany and West Germany.
Look at this chart. They scored 3 #1 hits in the US alone. They were selling out stadiums. Millions of teenagers had their posters on their walls. Every time they did an interview, they had these thick German and French accents, but when they sang, they sounded like smooth American R&B soul legends. Did anyone suspect anything? Of course they did. But if the songs are good, we'll ignore it. And the checks were rolling in, so the record label just smiled and waved. It all peaked right here. February 1990. Milli Vanilli wins the Grammy for Best New Artist. They even beat actual legends. They're officially at the top of the mountain. But remember, the higher you climb, the harder you hit the ground. I know bars. July 21st, 1989. Bristol, Connecticut. Milli Vanilli is performing live on MTV in front of 80,000 screaming fans. They're doing their signature dance moves. The crowd is going wild. They walk up to the microphones. And then the hard drive playing the backing track skips. And it doesn't just skip once. It gets stuck on a loop. Man, this was hard to watch, but couldn't be me though.
You know it's real, 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 you know it's real.
The word true never came. Because it wasn't true, Rob panicked and literally ran off the stage. Imagine being exposed as a fraud on live television. You think the career ends right there, right? Wrong. Somehow, the fans were so distracted by their dancing that they just ignored it. They actually survived the glitch. Yeah, I'm tired of editing. YouTube, go on ad break.
Oh my God.
But the real danger wasn't the computer glitch. It was their own egos. Because they were global superstars, Rob and Fab went back to their producer, Frank, and demanded, "We want to actually sing on the next album." Frank, knowing their actual singing voices sounded nothing like the hit records, said, "Absolutely not." So, out of pure spite, Frank Farian called a massive press conference on November 15th, 1990, and dropped the ultimate bomb. He told the entire world, "Yeah, those two guys, they didn't sing a single note. You could have just let us go."
Yeah, I think it was a crazy idea. And Rob and Fab comes in the very early in '88. He comes in the studio, or in the end of '87. He has an idea when you have maybe it's something possible for demos that was very bad, and they looks very great.
Fast montage of 90s news anchors looking shocked. Newspapers spinning on a screen with headlines. Milli Vanilli stripped of Grammy. The backlash was brutal. 4 days later, the Grammys literally revoked their award. The first and only time that has ever happened in history. Arista Records deleted their entire album from their catalog, making it the best-selling deleted album ever. Fans were so mad, they literally rented steamrollers to crush their cassette tapes in the streets. Rob and Fab tried to make a comeback using their real voices later on, but the world had already moved on. It's one of the craziest, funniest, and most tragic stories in pop culture. The real lesson here, if you're gonna fake it until you make it, be professionals at it, and this is a channel where we learn how to improve getting away with fraud.